All right. So what's our next question? Where are we headed with this thing?
Question
Wait,
three.
wait, hold on, Ryan. Do you have
We
anything to
got more?
promote? No, I was going to have to see if Ryan wanted to shamelessly promote since he's taking the time to be with us today.
You know what? No, I'm good. I'm under so many levels of NDA right now.
Okay.
I got 3 freelance clients on the plate. It's like you can't really cone of silence a Google Hangout. You know what I mean? So
Okay, so at 10:33 on Tuesday, the 5th of March, Ryan Thomas had nothing to pimp or promote. Mark that down, Newbear.
But only because he was legally bound not to.
Oh yeah, he'll tell us later.
yeah, I'll tell you later. I'll tell you later. It's all item 12. Every boilerplate, it's item 12 that takes all the fun out of an NDA.
One day we'll publish the live stream offline as an audiobook to see what we really talk about.
I've got one more thing to
Live
promote.
streaming.
I've got one more thing to promote. Millennials say that I did a pretty good Ron Swanson impression.
Not bad. Does anybody out there have like a terrible example of overcompensation killing them but still winning? I'd love to know if like an agency out there can say we were overconfident and I can't believe that we're working with Levi's right now. If there's an example like that, I would love to know it because I can't think of one. Every time I've said or every time I've walked out, it's been like, well, that was overconfident. The end result is always not the thing I wanted. So,
Wow. No,
I'm just saying.
wow. No,
Give me your horror stories. I love them. Send them.
No, here's what I'll say is that my sort of knowledge and understanding, especially on the agency side of things, these people are really, really, really good at presenting and really good at pitching. I mean, like beyond elite level. So my understanding, it just at least as far as what my little finite world. I don't know if there's a case of that. I mean, I think that I think that especially on the big agency side, there's such a people present generally as a rule so well that the intended result usually happens.
Yeah, the bar is just higher, and somebody always loses, man.
Right.
I have a great piece of advice. It was something I did really early in my career, and maybe the reason that you would think of me to ask to talk about confidence. When I was in school, I found out there was a position called business developer. And I mean, this is not one if you go to the Miami Ad School, no one's saying we're going to de-stream you. You're going to be an art director, a copywriter, or you could develop business. No one ever tells you. But there's somebody inside every agency it's basically their dedicated job. Those presentations, those pitches, those first contacts, and what it takes. They are the friendliest people. You can reach out to them, and they have never had an intern. Never. They need assistants. They need people to manage all these conversations. There's books, presentations, a mountain of stuff to put together. If you are genuinely curious in improving your skills and you are a student, find yourself a TBWA business development manager and just latch onto them. Be their first intern, and you will be invaluable throughout the rest of your career. I had 2 mentors who did it, mostly because I said I would like to sell things. I would like to sell the ideas I'm making, how to do it better. And they gave me, 5 to 6 simple points, walked me through it, and just helped me along. If you could make yourself into the first new business intern, put that on your resume.
Well, and the other thing too is, and a thing to understand is, people like the 3 of us, we've been around for a little while, but at the same time, I never feel as though that I've quote arrived on anything. I mean, I think that that's one of the things that I need to underscore, and I think hopefully a lot of people feel the same way. I am always open to feedback on how I could present better, how I could present with confidence. One of the things that I do know about myself is that if we were a volleyball team, I would be the guy setting. I wouldn't be spiking. I'm a great tee-up guy. I absolutely suck at closing. I cannot close to save my life. And it's my own but it's right.
Congratulations on the marriage of the 2 kids. I think you must have closed one time, I think.
Well, I mean, he's married to Anne Hathaway. She's an actress.
Yeah, that's true. But The thing. So let's go back to the question: how can confidence help compensate if you're, say, a small agency, unknown talent, et cetera?
Well,
et cetera?
hey, and shout out to a small agency compensating perfectly. FirstDateFool.com, Molly DeLong at Connolly Partners. Check that out. We just retweeted it. You want to talk about compensating properly, aggressively, and doing some good shit? FirstDateFool.com.
Okay. But I think that what was I saying? See, you interrupted.
What's the question? It's how can confidence compensate if you're, say, a small agency or an unknown talent, right?
I lost my train of thought. Thanks, Newbear.
Wow. Question 3 in today's AWSC. Here's the reset.
Newbear.
Question 3.
If we're gonna reset it, it comes down to the same thing. Somebody once told me every dollar is valuable to somebody, right?
Yeah.
At every scale, and this is why I say confidence is a percentage, right? Am I 100% confident in you? Am I 50% confident in you? It doesn't scale with money. It doesn't go up, right? You either are or you aren't. If you're working for a small sandwich shop, if you want to build your very first website, you're a junior developer and you want to put together something cute, your ability to instill confidence is the exact same, right? You always are punching out of your weight class. If you're growing, right? You know that old thing, if you're not moving forward, you're going backwards. You're always pushing forward. There's always something that's on the edge of your capable skills, and that's where, confidence comes in. It's the same as if I said my agency has worked consumer packaged goods before, but we have never dealt with a product like Skittles, something in a category that sells to this particular demo at this particular time. The difference between where my skill set ends and where your market is, that inherently is confidence. That's me saying, look at the intelligence in this room, look at the passion in this room, and selling through that process. I think it's totally binary.
One other thing to think about in terms of confidence, especially if you're a small, the idea of a small agency is changing. We talk about micro agencies, and that's me. There are agencies that have a couple of people that and then there's outsourcing and all of that. I think if you're a small, because one of the things especially when you go into pitch and it's like you show up and it's it's me, I'm like, ta-da, here I am, and they're like, well, what about your staff? Here I am, but I work with this designer in Frederick, Maryland, and this, that, and the other thing. You have to be very precise and clear on how you are going to solve their problem, okay? Because if I show up as one person and it's like, oh, okay, great, now what? If you're not precise and specific about how you are going to take care of their problem as a micro agency or a small agency, I mean, smaller agencies generally have bigger staff than one. But if you're a lone wolf, you have to be very clear on how this is going to get done, and you have to be very specific and precise about it. That's something that I found was key. And the idea of, oh, I'll find somebody, or I have a roster of talent that I pull from, is not necessarily an acceptable answer. So for example, the design conversation. I love design, absolutely adore design. I can draw a stick figure, and that's about it. But I have a great designer in Frederick, Maryland, who I work with on certain things, and I'm very clear with people. I have a designer in Maryland who has done this, 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 and this, and I believe that he will be a great fit for these reasons. And then here, and oh, by the way, here are samples for you to see. I think that's, precision is something too. I mean, I know that we're talking about differing styles and talking about just sort of the jolly old, hey, we're presenting yada yada yada. I just did yada yada yada. Oh my god. But precision is key.
You're a founder, VP, CEO level, decorated.
Yeah, I dress like one, right?
No, but what I'm not teeing that up because I like you or because I like talking about you. I'm teeing that up to blow up JD Schmidt for a second, our very own @J_D_Schmidt. On the opposite end of that, when we were all just starting out, I think this was true in a lot of ways for all of us, and it's true for a lot of people. And he says, when you're unknown, all you have is passion, conviction, and moxie. Sometimes it can win out over experience. We've got a handful of other people talking about how having confidence shows that you have the ability to play above your level and play with the big dogs and rise to meet the challenge. And I think when you talk about confidence, what goes hand in hand with that is that passion, right? Because I always talk about how I don't believe in writer's block with anybody who writes for us. I don't believe in writer's block. What writer's block to me means is that you're not excited about what you're writing about. So go find something else to write about because you're passionate about it. When you're passionate, you're confident. When you're confident, you believe you can kick Goliath's ass.
What was that? What was that Twitter handle again?
Real quick, I just want to say that I'm using Google Effects. That is.
Don't do that. My editor's about to go crazy.
That's the doorbell saying that we have a new guest. Jorgen Holst from Oslo, Norway. Yes, snakke norske. So we want to welcome him. All right. Yay! It worked.
When I saw that pop up, I thought you were going to put a crown or draw doodles on one of our faces. Now you got my dog all pissed off.
Really quickly, while we're waiting for him to tune in here, I think he's 100% right. That whatever that tweet was, it was 100% right. Because
when you're young, all you have is passion and moxie. When you're unknown, that's what you got. If you don't have experience, how do you get confidence? What are you passionate about?
Confidence bridges the gap on growth. Right? There's always, at any stage of this game, somebody is taking a personal risk by vouching for you. It could be an HR manager, a CMO, like a global CMO. It could be, the local deli, right, that you're promoting for your, first piece in your small agency portfolio. It doesn't matter at what stage in the game it is. Somebody is taking an inherent personal risk on you. All right? Confidence is you assuading that risk is not misplaced.
Right, and then the other thing too, the other thing too is I talked about precision, but also honesty, because there are a lot of times, when I started out early, it was just, again, it was look at me, I've won all these awards, woo! And it's like nobody cares, and what can you do for me? But you have to be very honest about things, and that's going to go a long way. Will you potentially lose the opportunity? Yeah, absolutely, you will.
No more than you would any other way.
No, and that's true. But if you bullshit your way through, and then all of a sudden you get this, and then you underperform, you've absolutely killed any opportunity to do future work, because that travels real fast. That travels real fast, and it's very, very difficult to come back from that.
Yeah.
I mean, I did that before, and I got lucky that it didn't necessarily it didn't necessarily hurt me. But it didn't help. Let's put it that way.